When is it okay to narc on your mom or dad? We're going to talk about that today on The Wrinkle. What do I mean by narc? Well, that's kind of a slang term. It's actually short for narcotics undercover officer. So it's kind of a term that means that you're tattletaling on the person. So say you were a narcotics undercover officer, you would befriend the person and pretend to be one of them, but meanwhile you would be informing the authorities about the person's illegal activities. It is another way of tattling. And you know, that doesn't really feel good to be talking about your mom or dad behind their back, even if you're trying to provide information that could help the person on their health journey. Why is it in geriatrics that we even want people to tattle on their parents? Well, a lot of the people that we see have cognitive impairment or major neurocognitive disorder, like dementia. Alzheimer's is the most common cause of that, and a very common feature of Alzheimer's is anosognosia. So it's quite common that a person doesn't really realize how their cognitive impairment is getting in the way of day-to-day life. Combine that with short-term memory loss, and it might well be that a daughter will notice that her mom has been forgetting appointments or not paying bills or burning pots on the stove, when the mom isn't aware of that at all, has forgotten it, or sort of has had changes in insight such that they don't think that that's very significant. It's really important for a geriatrician to know about those functional changes. They can help us to evaluate whether there's a major neurocognitive disorder or not, and to help with planning for the future. The amount of difficulty that a person's having with managing day-to-day life has a lot to do with the kinds of helps and supports that might be important to recommend. So we do want you to give us information about your mom or dad. And the more honest that information is, the more helpful it is. What are some ways that you can provide information without actually confronting your mom or dad in the doctor's office? Well, there's a variety of things depending on your comfort level and that of the provider. Some doctors' offices will accept emails, and that's an easy way to convey information that you think it's important for the doctor to know. Another way is to write a letter, which you could bring to an appointment, mail to the office, or fax. Another thing is that some doctors will see patients away from their family member. I do, for example. So if there's a patient who's under my care, I can meet with family members separately. I have to follow PHIPA legislation, which would kind of determine how much of the information about the mom or dad that I can share with the child. But I can certainly receive information about the parent. So if you want to give information to the healthcare provider, you're free to do so. One scenario that's very difficult but very important for you to tattle on your mom or dad is when it comes to safety issues. Driving is an example. If you're aware that your mom's or dad's driving skills have changed such that safety might be affected, that can be very important to share with the healthcare provider, whether it's a geriatrician or family doctor or nurse practitioner. It's really hard often for families to talk about driving, especially in front of their senior loved one. So that might be an opportunity to write a letter or send an email or something else so that you don't have to confront your mom or dad in the office. But we really do put a lot of credence in the reports of family. If a family member is reporting that driving is unsafe, chances are it is. So giving that information is very important to keep everybody safe, including your mom or dad. So even though it's tough, I would encourage you to do so. So I hope this video has provided a little bit of information about why it's okay and sometimes very important to narc on your mom or dad. It's okay to be a tattletale if you have their best interests in mind. If you're very uncomfortable with it, then my suggestions are to put it in writing rather than confronting your mom or dad in the office verbally. To get other help. So if you have siblings, talk to those other siblings. Get them on the same page as you so that everybody is singing from that same hymn book. This will allow you to have some support in doing this difficult task. Another place to look for help is the Alzheimer's Society. They've fielded many questions about this very thing, how to disclose information that will help your mom or dad even though it's difficult. So they can be a good resource as well. And finally, remember that what you're doing is in your mom or dad's best interest, and providing information about the person's abilities could actually help them to stay independent for longer. Are you getting enough wrinkle? Let me rephrase. Are you getting enough of the wrinkle? If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, and if you didn't, give it a thumbs down, but please hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell, and that way you'll never miss a video. We do upload twice a week, and we have our Jerry Minute on Twitter and Facebook twice a week as well. All the links are below. I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment, and I'll see you next time on The Wrinkle.